You know what? I think that writing and storytelling are kind of the same thing to me. And I've apparently always been a storyteller because I was telling stories according to my papa when I was knee-eyed to a grasshopper. I got in a lot of trouble for storytelling, actually. And I lay the blame squarely at the feet of my uncle by marriage, who was my aunt's first husband. He's the author of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. His mentor at the time was the author of Brown Bear, What Do You See? And these gentlemen volunteered to watch me because I was the perfect captive toddler audience for the type of books that they were at the time collaborating on. Ghost Eye Tree, Here Are My Hands, Barn Dance, which was featured on Reading Rainbow. So this was the inspiration of my childhood. I remember very distinctly going up and down the stairs with them singing lions and tigers and bears. Oh me, oh my. So literature and storytelling and those type of artistic people, I grew up around them. Mm-hmm. So for me, writing was just kind of something that came very easily. So quite literally, I sit down and it's like that episode of Charmed where the muses were whispering in their ears. If my muse is not whispering to me, nothing happens. So there's so many stories on my computer that are 15K, 50K words in, and the muse is just stopped. And I'll go back and reread them and I'll be like, oh, I want to know what happens. And then I realize you're writing this, you moron. You have to decide what happens. So I am really, honest to goodness, a complete free writer. I have no idea what my muse is doing with Theo and Love of a Mate right now, but she just keeps throwing like curveballs at me. And so we'll see what the next chapter comes to. So it's literally just my muse will wake me up in the middle of, or give me something in the shower, and preferably not when I'm driving because that's dangerous. And I will just suddenly have the chapter or a plot or a story. And I'm at the whim of my muse. I adore you writers that can do outlines and come back to things. And I've finally agreed to a fic challenge, and I'm begging my muse to not let me down. You know what? I'd have to say Riddle This, my newest story, because I was never going to put that up on fan fiction. It was so outside of canon, so unbelievable. I didn't even have a pairing when I first started writing it. It kind of just got made a Dramining because that's what everyone said to do. And I happened to show it to Bria and Amanda, and they were like, put this up there. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I did. And it's gotten a fantastic response. And it's outside of my I'm really proud of myself for stepping outside of my comfort zone and throwing that up there. My favorite fanfiction is Aftermath, which is the Theo Miney, which makes me sad because no one reads it, but it's my favorite. My mom gave me the audiobooks when I was on bed rest after a surgery, and the surgery had gone wrong, and I was incredibly sick and in an incredible amount of pain. And here is Harry Potter, narrated by Jim Doyle, who is brilliant. If you have not heard his versions of the audiobooks, please do. That was how I got through that really particular dark time in 2004 when I was so sick from that surgery. And I had friends. I had amazing friends. I was not married at that time. I was at home. And they had a suicide watch where one of them would just sit with me and listen to the Harry Potter books, and then they'd trade off. I was never left alone because they were so concerned for me because I was just in so much pain. It's easy for me to personally identify with Hermione besides the crazy hair. Personally, what's poured into my stories, probably a lot of my pain and frustration and angst at my life has been taken from me. I have lupus, and it's just recently diagnosed. We've had, 17 years of illness, 23 surgeries. I just had open heart surgery and I'm only 36. The life that I wanted to lead, and I am at the whim of whatever it is my genetics are deciding to do with lupus and all of my other conditions. So a lot of my choices have been taken from me, similar to what happens in the books in Harry Potter. Harry has almost all of his choices taken from him. He doesn't get to choose what life he leads. He's the chosen one, and he was born that way. So I think as a chronically ill person, I identified with that on such a huge scale. The Harry Potter on audiobooks is what I was listening to when I couldn't take any pain medication and I was in the most horrific pain I've ever experienced. I was being carried by my friends to the restroom. I was so incredibly ill from a surgery that had caused an excruciating intestinal infection that quite literally I did sit in the bathroom on the floor crying, wanting to give up on life. But I knew when I got out of the bathroom and they got me back to my bed, they'd start the books again on audio tape. So literally Harry Potter probably saved my sanity.